What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Action Comics number 1049. This is the eve of battle, with Lazarus Planet just around the corner. Superman has returned. He has returned from his long trek on Warworld, bringing the entirety of Warworld along with him. He is doing everything he can to save all the people, let them go back to their home world, or maybe find sanctuary on Earth. In the shadows, we have seen Lex Luthor, who is manipulating Metello, trying to use him for something that we have yet to fully understand. He is planning what he calls Project Blackout. But Superman can't be focusing on Lex Luthor right now because he is focusing on the new gods. From New Genesis and Apocalypse, they have arrived because of the fire of Olgren, the essence of a god inside of one of the children that Superman had brought from Warworld. They have come to collect him. Obviously, Superman isn't allowing that to happen. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at Stryker's Island. Metello in his cell with his new body that he did not ask for. Lex Luthor took it upon himself to do this. But in giving him this new body, he put in a way that he can communicate with him and nobody knows about it, with Lex Luthor appearing more as a hologram than anything else. As Metello tries to get Lex Luthor out of his head, Lex Luthor is letting him know that the only way that you can do that is by killing yourself. Metello at this point, he doesn't care. He wants nothing to do with Lex Luthor, wanting to stay away as far as he can possibly get from Lex Luthor. He is willing to take his very own life. But before Metello does this, before he rips out his pretty much CPU, his brain, that is when Lex Luthor brings up his sister, saying that there was a tragic accident, one that took place at Tracy Corbin's house last night. A drug dispute between her fiance and a co-worker. Both men are now dead from gunshot wounds. The only gun that was there was in Tracy's possession. Lex Luthor is telling him that his sister is a murderer. He knows that Lex set this up. He knows that Lex is playing him. He is using his sister as leverage. And that if he plays game, if he listens to Lex Luthor, Lex will make sure that she is taken care of inside of her prison, because she is currently staying in a LexCorp funded prison, which means he has total control over her. But he tells him to be happy because tonight will be the last night inside of this cell, and his next body will be the last thing that he ever needs. That when the sun hits Metropolis tomorrow morning, he will be on a level playing field with Superman himself. That is where we pick up with the Man of Steel, currently battling against Caliban and Orion. They think that Superman has grown weak, that he is a brittle old man, spending too much time underneath the red sun. But Superman is here to tell them that Warworld's new white sun has made him stronger than he has ever been. Add that on top of learning how to properly fight in a gladiator arena, having no powers and no abilities. This is arguably the strongest that Superman has been in years. Of course, this is excluding him going into the sun and absorbing radiation for years, so on and so forth. We also learned that Orion is running Apocalypse. Now, they came from Apocalypse believing that this was going to be a very easy fight, that they could just come in and kidnap a member of Superman's family, but he lets them know that this is not going to happen. Meanwhile, inside of one of the buildings where the kids are hiding out, the building begins to crumble. We see the fire of Olgren and Ulsa begin to come out. He is able to hold up the roof. He stops it from falling in. That is when Desaad tries to make his move, and we see that fire of Olgren come out of this young boy, more powerful than Desaad could could ever imagine. That boy could kill Desaad right here, right now. That is when Superman, stopping what he is doing, he goes to Ulsel. He lets him know that he does not need to kill Desaad, letting him know that this is the fire of Olgren. He has part of a god living inside of him. That is what saved him on Warworld. The boy confused, wondering if he is not himself any longer. Has he become Olgren? Has he become the god, the monster that so many fear? But Superman, doing what Superman does best, he reminds this young boy that he is still him. Also, Ra is still inside of there. That you may have the power of a god, you may have the capability to end gods yourself, but you are still you. That great power doesn't have to change you. And Superman is going to help him learn this for himself, with the young boy powering down. Orion saying that if you need any more proof, he should come with us. This is it right here. But Superman lets him know, the way that you guys showed up, the way that you guys were ready to just kidnap a young boy, Superman doesn't believe that he would be any safer with them, that he is now part of the Superman family, and there is no way in hell that this boy is going anywhere. And as they just learned, that if you try to take him by force, you are not going to win, vowing to find a way to take the boy, to take the fire from him. Whether the boy survives or not now rests on the shoulders of Superman. With the new gods making their exit, we pick up on Warworld a couple days later. Superman has come to talk to everybody, letting them know that they have finally found a way to get them back to their home worlds. They are charting a course. They are going to get them all to safety. It is now time for them to part ways, letting them know that it has been a great honor to serve and fight side by side with all these warriors, but also letting them know that in the days to come, the cruelest voices in their mind will try to convince them that Superman abandoned them this day. And so he wants them to remember what he is going to say next, that him and his family, they will never abandon them. The free people of Warworld and the House of El, they now share a bond that few could ever understand. If Mongols loyalists dare to come back for Warworld, they will be met by hardened fighters ready to defeat them. But this time, your arms will be unbound. That his parents wrapped him in that S sigil, the one that means hope, and you warriors, you choose to wear it, knowing that it could mean your very death if you are defeated or captured. That these people have more of a right to wear it than any, promising that they will see him again, to never forget what they have accomplished, and that there are no chains in this universe that could possibly hold them. As the crowds cheer, "Unbloody sword, unbloody sword," we see that it appears Orphan is back online, not knowing to what end or what purpose. This is when Warworld leaves the orbit of Earth. This is when we are thrown over to Stryker's Island. Tony, the security guard, he was not supposed to be working today. This prison guard was supposed to be off. Instead, he filled in for Victor. Metello letting him know that this is very unfortunate, because Metello, he actually likes this guy. He is the only one that has ever called him Corbin, always treated him with some dignity, always treated him with some respect. And so he wants him to know what he is about to do. It isn't personal, that Lex Luthor has his sister, that he has no other choice. We see him kill the prison guard, and he makes his exit out into the world. That is where we pick up with Lex Luthor and Manchester Black. This was Lex Luthor's inside man. Lex Luthor had asked him to keep tabs on the big blue guy. Lex Luthor got his unmade out of the deal, as well as an orphan box. At this point, Manchester Black, he sees their relationship as over, but he does let Manchester Black know that there is one more thing that he needs from him. As Black tries to let him know that that is not happening, Lex Luthor laughing hysterically, he presses a button and we see Manchester Black appearing to be electrified and knocked unconscious. Not caring if he is interested in his deal, he only needs Manchester Black alive just for a little bit longer, because what comes next is Project Blackout. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely a good closeout to what has been going on with the entirety of Warworld's story. It It has been one huge story arc, but man, has it been phenomenal. Arguably one of the better comics coming out of DC Comics. It has highlighted the best aspects of who Superman is, what he represents, and why we put so much hope and trust into him. Even when the odds look bad, even when he has the opportunity to rip somebody's head off, he shows restraint. He shows that he doesn't have to kill. That is why they chant unbloodied sword. He is the man that didn't kill anybody in the gladiator pits, yet he always walked out victorious. Not always, but towards the end, he started really laying down the hate. That is after he learned how to properly fight. Surprised that this is something that he never learned sooner on, but being in those gladiator pits, he had no other option. This was his only choice, not having his power, not having the ability to just tank hits like he usually does. And this gives us an official update on where Superman is with his powers and abilities. Because for a long time, we saw that Superman had been depowered. It actually looked for a while like he might actually die. Batman had been going over his scans trying to figure out what is going on with him. No matter what they did, his power was depleting. But because of the white sun, he finds himself more powerful than he has ever been. Those are his words. That he is easily back up to 100%. But with Superman being gone for so long, Lex Luthor has had the opportunity to plot and to scheme. With Superman not focused on anything that Lex Luthor has been doing because he has been so preoccupied with Warworld, with the New Gods, with all of this stuff going on, he hasn't kept tabs on one of his greatest villains. And with Lazarus Planets right around the corner, more than likely this is going to have a lot to do with what is going on currently in Batman vs. Robin and what we saw going on in Robin. You know, you guys know me, I don't really read solicitations, so I don't know exactly what is entailed with Lazarus Planets, but I did read a headline that was saying that it could be something to do with a zombie apocalypse coming to Earth Zero. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Superman Action Comics, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on the entirety of this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.